On Rogers Sportsnet, brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware or home hardware building center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Beautiful Saturday afternoon here at Rogers Center. The roof is wide open. It's a spectacular day for baseball. The Angels behind Urban Santana won last night 5-1. They had just 4 hits, but Mike Scioscia's ball club trying to close the gap between the front-running Texas Rangers and themselves. They're 2 games back as we speak. MAICER, IZTURIS, Peter Bourjos, Torrey Hunter. That's the top of the lineup. Hunter is the DH this afternoon. Rookie Mark Trumbo is having a terrific season. He starts at first. Wells hit a home run in his first at-bat last night in his return to Rogers Center. Third baseman CALLASPO. Howie Kendrick starts in left field. Jeff Mathis is behind the plate. And Andrew Romine makes his first start at shortstop this season.
That is the lineup that Ricky Romero will face as he takes the mound for his 24th start of the season. He has won his last 4 starts for the first time since his rookie season back in 2009. His earned run average while winning his last 3 starts has been just over 1. He's given up 9 hits, 7 walks over 24 in the 3rd innings. For Romero, he says it's been consistently throwing strikes, being in the strike zone, getting deep into the ball games. He gave up a couple of home runs his last time out against Mark Reynolds. But the important thing, I think, for Romero in his last start, did not walk a batter. Just the second time all season long he didn't walk a batter. So he was pounding the strike zone against the Orioles. Scatter report for Ricky Romero is brought to you by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners. Today's going to have to be the streak stopper. Blue Jays have lost a couple of games now. If you're going to be the ace, you've got to stop these types of losing streaks. 8 is enough. 8 innings pitched his last 3 starts. Very efficient, just 9 hits in 24 to 3rd innings. He's had low pitch counts, which is very important. He's been hitting on that cut fastball, hit on 30 of 32 cutters in his last start. You add that to the other things that he brings to the table, and that's why he's on one of these nice runs.
Defensively behind Ricky Romero, a couple of changes all over the field when you look at it. Thames was in left field last night. Rajai Davis makes his first start in center field since Colby Erasmus was acquired from the St. Louis Cardinals. Mark Teahen was the everyday right fielder in Kansas City in 2007. He's played out there a lot. Escobar and McDonald team up the middle. John McDonald starts in place of Aaron Hill. Laurie and Encarnacion at the corners, and JP Aaron Sebia behind the plate.
Johnny Mack played on in Sunday's game and played a great second base the last time that he was out there.
MAICER IZTURIS takes one up and away for a ball. We are underway. As we mentioned, IZTURIS did not play in last night's game. Howie Kendrick was the second baseman. Ball and a strike.
That's the thing about this Angels team. They've got a lot of interchangeable parts. Their players, Howie Kendrick will get the start today, but it's in left field. He was at second base in last night's game.
It's a piece of the cut fastball and fouls it off. Kendrick very versatile, as Pat mentioned. He's in the left field today. Howie Kendrick with the bat went 0 for 4 with a strikeout in last night's game. On the ground, big hop for the shortstop. 1 out.
That will be something that we'll watch this afternoon. Romero has been all over that strike zone in his last few starts, like we were talking about. He has been down, and he's got a lot of ground ball outs. He'll get it with his fastball, he'll get it with his cutter, and he gets it with his changeup. That's a good start right there. First batter gets a ground ball.
Peter Bourjos, always the threat to bunt. He's second in the American League in bunt base hits with 11. Takes a pitch just off the outside corner. Bourjos, a very exciting young player, terrific defender, and he's holding his own with the bat. 2-0. Hasn't done much against the Blue Jays, just 2 hits in 24 at-bats. Romero falls behind 3-0.
Didn't really light it up in the minor leagues, did Bourjos. He has been known for his speed and his great defense. In the minor leagues, 50 triples in 4 years. So he's got the tremendous speed.
And Ricky Romero walks him on 4 pitches. Blue Jays walked 5 Angels on last night's game, and that contributed to their 5 runs. Brandon Morrow walked 3 in the 3rd inning, and 2 of those walks came around to score. Torrey Hunter, the DH. He said he got to Mike Scioscia's office first. He beat Vernon Wells there, so he's the DH today, and Wells is in right.
As much as he loves to play defense, that's a surprise. But it's a good idea, I think, to give him a day off of this turf.
Borges is 15 for 20 in his steal attempts this year. This is a team that will move the runners. Romero misses again inside, this time to Hunter. Romero making his 5th career start against the Angels. Another pitch missed downstairs. And Sevilla and Romero going to talk it over.
This is not what we saw from Romero in his last start against the Baltimore Orioles. The only other time he did not walk a batter in a game was his first game this year against Minnesota.
Last time out in the 1st inning, had a couple of strikeouts in a 1-2-3 first against Baltimore. Borges at first, 1 out. Way inside. And Ricky Romero, as we mentioned, has been on a roll. He has really commanded the strike zone. You look at his last 3 starts, each 8+. And you go back 4 starts, he pitched at least 7 in all 4 of those previous 4 starts.
ERA just keeps coming down for him. But before that, the walks were a problem for him. He comes into this game in the top 10 in base on balls in the American League.
A lot of that has to do with the terrific movement of his fastball, and also the fact that he throws that changeup that will move all over the place. But of late, it hasn't been a concern, but now he's in a jam early with the powerful Mark Trumbo, the rookie, stepping in. 22 home runs. That leads the rookies in the major leagues. Well, you can see Romero really trying to guide it to the strike zone right now, and he's got to turn it loose and trust his stuff.
He's fighting himself right now, just trying to get it in there. Watch, he doesn't extend through and throw to the glove. Just cuts his arm off, cuts that throw off. You want to reach towards the plate and finish your pitches out in front.
Another ball, and Romero is frustrated right now.
That's 10 in a row.
Talking about Mark Trumbo and his great season as a rookie. He and J.P. Arencibia both in this game today, and they are the leaders in the big leagues for rookie home runs. Danny Espinosa, the fine second baseman of the Nationals, has 17, and boy, Freddie Freeman, he has really come through for the Braves.
The team record for the Los Angeles Angel rookies for home runs was set by Tim Salmon with 31. Trumbo's got to have a hot finish to have a chance to do that and set that record. We were talking about this before the game. The player who is tied for the 3rd most home runs as a rookie Angel, Devon White, hit 24 in 1987.
The Blue Jays kind of got him off the scrap heap and turned into a terrific player here for Toronto. Trumbo will step back in, 2-0 count. The count is in his favor. There's a strike. Everybody aware of the situation. Romero is just 1 ground ball away from getting out of this.
And that's how you have to keep thinking about it. He's got the stuff to do that. He has been able to get a lot of ground balls this season.
There's the ground ball. Escobar shovels quickly to McDonald. In time at first base. All it took was 1 good pitch, and Ricky Romero has a good first inning. Johnny Mack turned it quickly at second. He gets a good feed from the shortstop Escobar, quick work around the bag. It's a different lineup than we're used to seeing. There have been some changes. No Jose Bautista. Ball club is 59 and 59, right at 500. Escobar Thames. Encarnacion moves into Bautista's spot. And Edwin plays at first base. Lind Arancibia-Tian makes his first start in right field. Flory, Davis, and John McDonald. That's the lineup set to face Jared Weaver.
And the numbers for Jared Weaver just jump right out at you when you take a look at the stuff that he has done this year. Weaver's number is 14 wins, which is third in the American League. The earned run average 178. That leads the AL. His winning percentage second behind Verlander.
There's a base hit for Escobar. They didn't waste any time. Went up and got that high fastball and rips it into left.
I think that's a good idea. Swing early and often because he's going to be around the plate. You don't want to find yourself in a two-strike hole because you've got too many weapons to get you out. First one he throws in there, go up there hacking, and it pays off for Escobar.
Leadoff man aboard. Eric Thames had a good night last night. 2 for 4 with his 6th home run. There's a bunt right out in front of the mound, and Weaver makes the throw to first. That shows you what John Farrell thinks about this pitching matchup today. Runs could be tough to come by.
It could be tough to come by for both of these teams. Thames heads back to the dugout after a successful sacrifice bunt. The scouting report for Jared Weaver, he's a Cy Young candidate. His numbers are all over the leaderboard in the American League. He spots his fastball. You add and subtract with it. And he's throwing strikes with all of his pitches. The slider, the curveball, changeup. He's got a two-seamer. He'll cut it. A little bit of everything. So he's got many weapons to go ahead and get you out with.
This is his 6th big league season, and he's making his 169th start. Lots of experience on the mound. Edwin Encarnacion. Long drive left field. Harry Kendrick back, looking up. Goodbye, home run. Edwin Encarnacion, number 11. 2-0 Blue Jays.
Probably the hottest hitter in the Blue Jay lineup as we speak. So John Farrell puts him in an RBI situation in the first inning. He bunts the leadoff single to second base for him. And Encarnacion doesn't miss a hanging breaking ball in the inner half. He wanted that ball away. He missed his spot, and Encarnacion didn't miss the pitch.
That's the same pitch that Maguire Ordonez hit last time out against Weaver when Weaver faced the Tigers, a hanging slider. And Ordonez did the same thing as Encarnacion. Took him deep. 2-0 Blue Jays, and what a turnaround here in the first inning. Ricky Romero got the double play to close out the Angels in the top half. It's only the 9th home run Weaver has allowed all season long. He's one of the toughest to hit home runs against. He is the 3rd toughest in the American League behind Justin Masterson and Doug Fister. That ball is popped up on the infield. CALLASPO, the 3rd baseman, calls for it, makes the catch. For every home run Toronto hits in today's game, you could win amazing prizes from Sharp, including Canada's largest LCD TV, a 70-inch Sharp Aquos. Enter online at hitahomerunwithsharp.ca. Sharp makes bigger, better. 2 down, JB Arancibia moves up into the 5th spot this afternoon. And running fastball moved off the plate.
You can see the deception and the windup from Jared Weaver. How he really hides the ball, throws almost across his body. He'll start his windup from the 3rd base side of that pitching rubber, close that front side, and throw cross body, making it very tough for right-handers to pick him up.
He's 6'7" and creates a dramatic angle, and there's that ball down and away. Where's your focal point if you're a hitter facing Jared Weaver?
What makes it so tough, you're taught to look over the right shoulder of the pitcher, and you're looking for the ball out of that part of his delivery. But it's almost like he's stepping right towards you as the hitter, and he has that ability to cut the ball away from you. So you're going to have to really stay on the ball and know that he likes to cut it on the outer part to you.
He's a terrific competitor. Got off to a great start. Take a look at the angle he creates off the mound.
Again, he is on the right side, or the 3rd base side of the pitching rubber, to a right-handed batter.
Left that ball inside, and it's popped up. Howie Kendrick, the left fielder, comes in and makes the catch, and the Blue Jays are done in the 1st. But a leadoff single by Escobar, capped off by a 2-run home run. Edwin Encarnacion at first base, number 11. That extends his hit streak to 12. First pitch from Brandon Morrow, and he delivers the home run.
A notorious first ball fastball hitter, and Morrow threw him a slider, and Vernon's done that plenty of times. Hit home runs here, and he was saying before the game, we get the crowd to cheer for him, what would be nice, but what I would really like to see is them start to boo me, because that means I'm doing something, and he certainly did his first time up.
That's the first pitch strike from Romero. That home run for Wells is the first home run by a player that played 10+ seasons with one team and then hit a home run in his first at bat against his former team. And that'll remove all the warm and fuzzy feeling.
Especially like yesterday. Those two were clowning around before Vernon's first at bat. Yesterday, Ricky Romero was throwing peanuts at Vernon Wells, who was the on-deck hitter last night.
And they're not peanuts today. Romero's ahead of Vernon Wells, but we mentioned that home run. Wells spent 10+ seasons with the Blue Jays and hit a home run in his first at bat against his former team. That's the first time that's happened since Frank Thomas did it with Oakland against the White Sox. Brett Lowry, high throw, and Encarnacion makes the tag. Wells is retired. Lowry had a little bit too much time there and kind of nonchalanted the throw.
Well, you know what he didn't do? He didn't keep his feet moving, and that is the one thing that Brian Butterfield talks about. You see right there, not much of a crow hop. He's got time to keep his feet moving right through the ball and then cut down the throw over to first base. Edwin Encarnacion does a good job of climbing the ladder and getting the out at first.
One out. Switch hitter Alberto Callaspo takes the first pitch strike. Callaspo had an RBI in yesterday's game. He went 1 for 4. Well, baseball is all about keeping your emotions in check. Ricky Romero back-to-back walks with 1 out. And the dangerous Mark Trumbo at the plate. He got the double play to end the inning.
And Ricky's an emotional player. You see him on the mound. He takes every pitch serious. He's into it. He really wants to win. I mean, look at his face right there. I mean, that is a game face for Romero. Just lost it momentarily there in the first inning. 10 straight balls. Gathered himself, made a good pitch, and got out of the inning.
The appeal down to David Rackley. He said no swing from Callaspo. Well, he mentioned that Ricky Romero's on such a hot streak right now. He's made his last 4 starts. He's won 3 of those 4 starts. His ERA is under 2. And he's held opponents to a 133 batting average. Popped out of play. But you're right, for young pitchers, and we compared the 2 staffs, the Angels veteran top 3, the Blue Jays top 3 pitchers, and the starts are almost half. Blue Jays just don't have the experience that the Angels starters have.
We ran that stat by Mike Scioscia this morning.
Driven to center, Rajai Davis with plenty of room. 2 outs.
It's Canada's best-selling car 13 years in a row. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah, we had a conversation with Mike Scioscia talking about the inexperience. He said, I've got 2 of those guys myself. He said, Untitled Chatwood and Garrett Richards, 2 young guys that have a lot of talent, but they don't have the experience that Weaver, Heron, and Santana have.
That they can draw on as they get into the game. And he says it makes all the difference in the world when you've got those veterans who've made that many starts. Ball fouled off on the bunt attempt by Kendrick. Irvin Santana last night, 195 career starts last night. And it showed in the way he went about his business as the game wore on. Changing things up when he needed to, commanding his breaking ball.
And Santana flirted with another shutout. A 1-out home run in the 9th by Eric Thames robbed him of that opportunity. Kendrick, bouncing ball. Lowry comes and gets it. There he keeps his feet moving and throws his strike. A 1-2-3 second for Ricky Romero. The Blue Jays have an early lead. After that last half inning, Brett Lawrie got a visit from the infield coach, Brian Butterfield. Congratulations on that throw, and then the reminder, that's how you have to continue to move your feet.
That was textbook. That one that ended the inning. Field threw the baseball, cut down the distance across the diamond. Textbook, and that's why the throw was on line.
Lawrie's on deck. Mark Teahen in his first start with the Blue Jays. Teahen's got good numbers against Weaver. 9 for 21. That's a .429 average. His combined numbers between Chicago and Toronto, hitting under 200.
Much easier for a left-handed batter against a pitcher like Jared Weaver because everything's coming into him. That slider, the curveball, the cutter, everything like that is coming into him. He just has to recognize it and get the head out quickly.
There's that breaking ball that lefties will swing over the top of. Weaver creates a lot of depth with that breaking pitch. Weaver is tough on either right-handers or lefties. Lefties hitting just .219 against him.
He's actually given up more home runs to right-handers now with that home run by Encarnacion than the lefties.
Well, he creates a lot of deception with that delivery and the long windup. Cross ball down and away. Teahen strikes out. First strikeout of the afternoon for Jared Weaver.
Last time the Blue Jays saw Jared Weaver, he had a career high 15 strikeouts, 7 2/3 innings with a lot of pitches just like that, down and away, right on the corner. That game, that was the best I've ever seen him.
Yeah, and he had everything working, and it was almost like he could call his shots and throw it wherever he wanted to. Brett Lawrie moving up in the lineup here this afternoon into the 7th spot for the first time. First 7 games of his career, he hit 9. Big sweeping breaking ball. That's what Weaver does so well. He changes speeds on his breaking ball. He can create a quick, sharp breaker or big, meandering sweeper.
That's what we were talking about. We're adding and subtracting to the speed of your pitches, and it just upsets the timing to that hitter. And you don't add and subtract by throwing a fastball or a breaking ball. He can do it multiple ways with each one of those pitches, giving the illusion that he's got 6 or 7 pitches that he can use at any time.
2-1. High fly ball, but Kendrick's got a bead on it. Lawrie's retired, 2 down.
And you know what makes it awfully tough on right-handers as he throws across his body. Again, he's on that side of the rubber, and watch where he steps. Right there. Look at that. And now he's coming home. You don't think that's tough to track the baseball as a right-handed batter and that ball is going away from you? You really have to stay on the baseball when you're facing Jared Weaver.
That creates the tendency to step in the bucket, if you will. Comes toward that third baseline, and right-handed hitters have a tough time hanging in there. Rajai Davis getting the start in center field. Colby Rasmus has started every game in center since he has joined the Blue Jays. Davis has faced Weaver quite a bit since Rajai played in Oakland, same AL West as the Angels. There's 19 career bats against Weaver. Pops this ball up behind home plate. Mathis gives it a look, and it's back behind the screen.
I guess it would be easier if you had multiple at bats and had an idea facing Weaver multiple times like Rajai Davis has. You see him 1, maybe 2 times a year. Tough.
One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And again, he elevates that pitch, and he can do so many things. And in our conversation with Mike Scioscia, when you have an experienced pitcher like Weaver, there's no panic in his approach, because if one pitch isn't working, he's got to choose between 2 or 3 other ones in 2 or 3 different areas of the strike zone.
at different speeds, and that's what makes him so tough. The one thing that you really have to do as a hitter is you really got to bear down and make him throw strikes, because he has that ability to throw the ball where he wants to. That was a purpose pitch right there. Breaking ball down and away, hoping that Rajai Davis would swing at it.
He cuts this ball, and it's popped over near the Angels dugout and back on a plane. Well, a lot of Scioscia's success over his 12 years as the manager of the Angels has been the strength of their pitching. And you get three top-end pitchers like Mike has right now with Weaver, Santana, and Herod. And you're going to battle to win those games just about every single night.
You sprinkle in some good arms like those two that you mentioned at the back of their rotation. You play good fundamental defense, has some good team speed, and you're going to be in it every year.
Well, and the Angels, certainly with their veteran pitchers, are all about postseason baseball. With a foul back. They measure their success by how far they go in the postseason, not by whether or not they get there.
And with three exceptional starters, that becomes a very dangerous team in the playoffs.
Now, if you want to handicap the postseason, just look at the top three starters of those postseason ball clubs. Ball is drilled to center field. That's going to get past Borges and go all the way to the ball. Rajai Davis can run, but Borges gets to it quickly, and he'll stop at second with a 2-out double. 21st double of the season for Rajai Davis.
Rajai can run, but so can the center fielder. Weaver having trouble getting the ball down against Rajai Davis, so he says thank you very much. Elevated pitch, and he whacks it into left center field for extra bases. When it left the bat, it looked like it had a chance to be 3, because Borges was playing him in right center field, but as fast as Davis could run, Borges could run too, and he got to it quickly and got it back in.
John McDonald 3 for 6 against Weaver. He's a first ball fastball hitter. Rajai Davis with a big break over toward third, and Weaver never panicked. He just calmly looked at him and then stepped off the rubber. This time Weaver says, you want to run? I'm going to keep my eye on you.
We might see this all afternoon if Rajai's on base. They know he's going to go. We know he's going to go. Just a matter of when.
Weaver got the scouting report and throws a first pitch breaking ball to John McDonald. Johnny Mac's done a good job. The consummate role player in his last 16 games, and certainly they have been sporadic at bats, but he's hit well. That's another thing the Angels do very well. They play tight defense and fundamentally sound defense. They could use all the plays in the playbook.
You know, everybody goes through the same bunt plays and the same pickoff plays in spring training. The good teams then carry that through the season, and they will try to put those plays on.
A breaking ball catches the outside corner. Looks like Mathis and Weaver had a little bit of a mix-up in communication. Certainly didn't appear to be the case with the way Mathis caught that ball, but after the pitch, Weaver kind of apologized to him. We've talked about Scioscia and the high expectations he places on his catchers, but he puts an equal responsibility on the pitcher to make sure the pitcher and catcher communicate throughout the course of spring training and carry that right through the season as to how the pitcher wants to work. Breaking ball, line down the left field line. That's a fair ball. Here comes Davis around third. John McDonald will go into second. There's no one at second. The ball hits McDonald, but TRUMBO, the trailer, tracks it down. McDonald gets the RBI. 3-0.
You know, the sign of a good extra player is he could sit around for a week or so and then come into a ball game and do something to help the team win a game. Turn a double play like Johnny Mac did in the first inning. Come up with a 2-out RBI like he does against a very good pitcher in Weaver. Jose Molina can do it. John McDonald can do it. Rajai Davis has done it already with that double. Do something to help the team when you get your chance.
The important thing for extra men, don't lose the game. Come in and contribute to a winning effort. You're going to play maybe once, possibly twice a week. Just accept that role. Escobar goes after the first pitch. CALLASPO to his left. Escobar is out, but the Blue Jays tack on another run. They take an early lead. John McDonald with a clutch 2-out RBI double. 3-0 Blue Jays. Boys and Girls Club of Durham, courtesy of TD. Welcome to Rogers Center. Beautiful Saturday afternoon. It's Junior Jays Kids Day, and the Blue Jays have an early lead, 3-0 over Jared Weaver and the Angels. Jeff Mathis, the catcher, will start things off. Mathis batting just 182. Takes the first pitch, strike from Ricky Romero. Math, as you can see, has played in 66 games. He's driven in just 17 runs.
His strength is game calling, blocking pitches, really taking control behind the dish. Offensively, anything you can get from your catcher, I think, is a bonus when you can handle the game like somebody like Jeff Mathis.
That ball hit him. Now Gary Darling said, wait a minute, where are you going? If that ball hit him, he swung at it, in my mind, and he could be called out. But Mathis made his way toward first, and Gary Darling said, wait a minute, that's at least a foul ball. Now Mike Scioscia's off the bench.
Well, there's no question that the ball hit him, but it's also on a swing.
Now, you could call him out because he was swinging that pitch and the ball hit him. And now Scioscia's coming out and say, wait a minute, that ball hit him. And Gary Darling, the veteran umpire, crew chief of this umpiring crew. But Mathis squarely got hit. There's no question he got hit on the left hand, but the action of swinging the bat was another one in question.
The rule is if you make an attempt to swing, and in the mind of Gary Darling felt like he did, and the ball hit you, it's a play. Now, in his mind, the home plate umpire's mind, he's saying that he took a swing at this ball. It doesn't look like it from the replay. It looked like he checked in time, but the ball clearly hit him on the hand.
And now Darling is going, I'm going to put him on at first base, and John Farrell's coming out and said, wait a minute now. And Farrell's going to argue that it was a swing. And this is going to be an interesting discussion because Darling clearly reacted without any sign of it being anything other than a foul ball.
And Gary Darling is the crew chief, and he is saying that the ball hit him on the hand. Did he think it was a foul ball the first time? That's the thing that's interesting. That because it clearly hit him on the hand. We saw that. I think Gary Darling is saying, I saw a foul ball, now I think I saw it hit him on the hand. And that's the argument that John Farrell is saying.
And then Gary Darling asked the first base umpire, David Rackley, if there was a swing. And now Farrell is arguing the point, well, wait a minute now. You called nothing initially, and there would appear to be a check swing foul ball, but he appeared to offer at the pitch. So Mathis is at first base, at least for the time being, as John Farrell continues to plead his case to the home plate umpire. And this is not one he wants to give up easily, but Scioscia came out and said, wait a minute, my catcher was hit. And he's just going to leave John Farrell standing there, and he's not going to throw him out because he knows it was a very borderline call.
One more look at it from the side. He offers at it. He clearly got hit, and on the replay, for me, it didn't look like he took a swing at that. Watch the umpire.
Now Andrew Romine squares to bunt, and the fans are heading on Gary Darling. Romine making his first start of the season. He's only been in 4 games. And he looks down to the third base coach to get the sign. Mathis is aboard, officially hit by a pitch. There's another bunt. This one to Laurie. They got a shot at second. He looks there and gets the sure out at first. Laurie had the right idea. He looked up and saw Jeff Mathis closing in on second, so he gets the out at first. Second sacrifice for Romine.
You'll learn as a young player, if the batter bunts the ball firmly to you, you've got a shot, and a good shot, to get that lead runner. He thought about it. He got the ball out of his glove like he was going to try and make the play, then thought better and said, okay, I better get it out. And he does.
Now there's a runner in scoring position back to the top of the order. MAICER IZTURIS takes one down. IZTURIS grounded to short his first time up. Interesting start to this game, and you can expect it's going to be a tight contest all afternoon with Weaver and Romero hooked up.
Each one of the managers playing it tightly, scratching and clawing for a run here or a run there because they know it's going to be tough to come by.
Blue Jays used a sacrifice bunt in the first, and the Angels have bunted here in the third. Romero had a quick 1-2-3 second inning after struggling to find the plate in the first. 3-0 count to IZTURIS. There's a strike. Blue Jays lead it 3-0. A 2-run home run by Edwin Encarnacion and a 2-out double by John McDonald. There's a fly ball to left field. Thames started in, now breaks back. Mathis is tagging at second. Thames makes the catch. Mathis advances on the fly ball to left. 2 outs. So Mathis, very athletic. He saw that that was going to be a caught ball in left field. Quickly went back and tagged.
And you might say, okay, well, he tagged up and went to third base. Big deal. Well, there's so many more ways that you can score from third base now. You mentioned that Borges is very good at dropping down the bunt. He does that successfully now, and it's an RBI and a run.
Bounces it right to Romero on the first pitch, and the Angels will leave one on. A controversial hit by pitch to start the inning, but Ricky Romero comes through. Second half, since the All-Star break, you can see the veteran hitters have really struggled. Bautista, Lind, and Hill really haven't gotten anything going with the bat.
Yeah, Bautista and Lind were so good in the first half. Since the All-Star break, they've gone into a little bit of a funk. I think it was a good idea to give Jose the day off. His numbers in his career, he's faced Weaver 6 times. He struck out 4 of those times. Good time to give him a break, get him out of the game, forget about it. Give Adam Lind half a day off again as the DH. Aaron Hill's been struggling a little bit. Give him a day off against a tough pitcher. Just to gather your thoughts and regroup a little bit.
Eric Thames had that sacrifice bunt in the first inning that led to the 2-run home run by Edwin Encarnacion. Takes the pitch off the plate outside. There's a breaking ball, and that's exactly what you had referenced. Mike Scioscia saying Jared Weaver is totally unpredictable. You get in a fastball count, and you might get 1 of 4 different pitches from him. The ball is lifted into center field. Borges over quickly, and then Vernon Wells calls him up. Wells making his first start in right field here this afternoon as Torrey Hunter gets the day off as the DH.
And that will become the Sun Field as this day wears on. So you put the veteran out there who has been there before and played on this field. It's a very interesting thing when you talk about predictable pitches in a pitcher like Jared Weaver. Predictable pitches meaning 2-0, here comes the fastball. He's not like that, and the good ones usually aren't. They have that ability to mix and match, if you will, and keep the batter off guard.
Encarnacion homered his first time up against Weaver. That's a hard cutter. You can see the late cutting action, and not as dramatic a break as that breaking ball he would throw. There's the slower, bigger breaker. You certainly get the kitchen sink when you're dealing with Jared Weaver. And he is throwing as well as anybody in baseball right now.
It's been team streak, it seems like, all season long. Hot streak.
That inside cutter catches the inside corner. Encarnacion is called out on strikes.
You can't give up on it. When he throws that breaking ball, starts right at you. You think it's going to just bore inside, but it catches the inside part of the plate for just his second strikeout. But he got off to a terrific start. The Jared Weaver won his first 6 starts of the season, and then he lost 4 in a row. And he has not lost but one game since May the 18th.
And that was the game against the Tigers. He was ejected in that game. He was hooked up against Justin Verlander. Talk about a dramatic pitching duel. Tigers won that game 3-2. This is popped up over near the wall. CALLASPO gives it a look, leans in, makes the catch. He stayed with it. He went right to the barrier, leaned into the seats, and makes the catch. Tough sun today here at Rogers Center. Got right to the edge of the wall, leans in, and retires Adam Lucas. The Blue Jays take on the Angels. That's the series finale. The game will start at 1:07 p.m. Tom Henke will be signing autographs from 11:45 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at section 127. One item per person, please. You can call the Blue Jays for tickets at 416-341-1234. Log on to BlueJays.com or most Rogers Plus locations.
One more time, the great catch. The concentration by CALLASPO to go over to that seat area. Stay right with it and keep your eye on that baseball to get the out. Every little play like that will save his starting pitcher a couple of pitches, possibly a couple of runs. It's a good play.
Especially in the middle of the order. Whenever you have a chance to retire one of those impact hitters, you want to do it. CALLASPO, a little extra effort, gets Weaver out of the inning. Torrey Hunter goes upstairs and chases that high fastball. Hunter walked his first time up. The second of two walks that Ricky Romero issued in the first inning. Hits this ball to center field. Rajai Davis. He's there and makes the catch. One out. When you have your ace pitcher on the mound for the Blue Jays, that's certainly Ricky Romero. For the Angels, you could argue, but you could say Jared Weaver is the ace. It seems as though everybody understands the effort their pitcher is putting into the game. And on defense, you get that same kind of effort from your fielders.
Everybody's on their toes. They're into the ball game. They know that one pitch, one fielding miscue, one mistake can cost you the ball game when you've got these type of pitchers going against each other.
The rookie Mark Trumbo hit into a double play in the first. Boy, that was a big turnaround point for Ricky Romero in the first inning. First and second, one out. Trumbo got jammed, broke his bat, and grounded into the 6-4-3 double play. Went after that high fastball. Mark Trumbo grew up in the shadow of the Big A in Anaheim. Orange, California. Went to high school not far from the stadium. Bounce off that pitch. Went to Villa Park High School. Always been a great baseball program there at Villa Park, but the chance to get drafted inside and then eventually make it to the big leagues with your hometown team has to be a special feeling.
Had a huge year last year in the minor leagues for the Angels. Really opened up the eyes in spring training and a good spring.
Curveball pulled foul just outside of third. Trumbo playing in the Pacific Coast League at Salt Lake City. He hit .301, scored 103 runs, hit 36 home runs, and led the league with 122 RBI. That'll get your attention if you're Mike Scioscia.
And then you come into spring training and do the same thing like he did this past spring. And there was an opening on this team. Kendry Morales has been their starter until he got hurt last year. He's been out the whole year and he's had a chance and he's really taken and run with it.
It's interesting. Trumbo was an 18th round pick in 2004. He had a scholarship at the University of Southern California, which every kid in Southern California wants to go play baseball for the Trojans. But you can bet he got paid over slot to sign with the hometown Angels and jumped at that opportunity. Reaches for a pitch outside. Johnny Mack has it. Quickly to first. 2 down.
Canada's best-selling car 13 years in a row. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
It's Junior Jays Day here at Rogers Center. Lots of kids enjoying a lot of activities. Plus the opportunity to watch the Blue Jays play here on Saturday afternoon. Vernon Wells fouls off the first pitch. Hitting just .208 for the season. Vernon Wells, his worst season was 2007 with the Jays. He hit .245, had 16 homers, but he drove in 80 runs. Reaches for that pitch and fouls it. That's the season he battled his shoulder all year long, and it just was a bad year for him.
This wasn't there. A lot like this year where the average just hasn't been there for Vernon. He had a couple of good power months in June and July, but the batting average has been down. The RBIs have been down. Got off to a rough start in April, but always dangerous.
And you always like to come back and play against your former team, as Wells said yesterday. He said he has a lot of great memories and still a lot of great friends on the Blue Jays. But it's tough not to. He spent 12 years in a Blue Jay uniform. Wells had a career best 215 hits in 2003. That led the American League. He also led the American League with 49 doubles and 373 total bases. Breaking ball, Laurie keeps his feet moving and throws out Vernon Wells. Ricky Romero's bounced back. A 1-2-3 fourth inning. 4th inning, someone will win a 40-inch Aquos Quattron TV and Blu-ray player. To enter, visit hitahomerun.sharp.ca. Sharp, Aquos makes bigger, better. JP Arencibia looks at an outside pitch. Arencibia popped up to left field his first time up. JP hitting 5th here this afternoon.
I wanted to ask you this after we got a couple of innings into this ball game about Jared Weaver and the time that he's been off because of the suspension. He has been on a roll, but when you shut it down for 6 days and don't pitch competitively, that has a chance to kind of back you up just a little bit, and you're not as sharp as you've been. Do you see that from Weaver here this afternoon?
This ball is grounded to short. Romine has. Arencibia is retired. I'm not so sure I see any rust. He left the pitch up out over the plate to Encarnacion. And Edwin hit a 2-run home run. That's not unlike what he did to Aguilar Ordonez 2 starts ago on the 31st of July.
But the sharpness to his pitches and the control, he's been falling behind some hitters. He hasn't had the, the dominant. Maybe the last time we saw him, he was so good, and we're trying to compare that start to this start.
That was back in April, his 3rd start of the season. And there's a first pitch breaking ball to Martin. Yeah, I mean, and pitchers will tell you they're creatures of habit. They love to pitch on the 5th day and not have that interrupted.
Last pitched 8 days ago. That was against Seattle, and then started that 6-game suspension the next day. Just came off yesterday and is in the ball game here this afternoon. But missing that turn or stretching out your spot in the rotation, I think can have an effect on you.
Always a possibility, there's no question about that. But when you see where Weaver ranks in the potential Cy Young Award race, Verlander of the Tigers, he and Weaver matched up in that great game on the 31st of July. CC Sabathia, well, what a rough night he had last night. Ball is grounded and backhanded by IZTURIS. And TRUMBO maintained contact with the base. Torey Lovell, the first base coach, never reacting. And he had a good look at the foot of Mark TRUMBO. So Tien is thrown out by MAICER IZTURIS to second baseman.
Yeah, if you see the coaches reacting, he has a better look at it than the first base umpire. He's got to get himself in position to watch the runner and the fielder. TRUMBO, in his mind, stayed on the bag.
It's a big, long stretch from Mark TRUMBO.
Here's the stretch. This will really tell if he stays on, and probably had that front part of his shoe still on the bag when he made the catch.
At least the tip of the spike. Brett Lawrie, the ball on the strike. Lawrie flew out to left field his first time up. Lawrie had a double in last night's game. He was 1 for 2, also walked. Base hit to left field. You know, you just get a feeling that Brett Lawrie's going to hit. Doesn't matter who he's facing, where he's hitting in the lineup. He just looks hitterish.
Because his bat is so quick. Just when you think you can get a fastball by him, he unleashes that bat on the ball. And it comes through so quickly. It's got a different sound than some of the other hitters that we have seen this year. And the ball just jumps.
Lawrie was thrown out at second trying to advance on a ball in the dirt. In last night's game, Bobby Wilson made a terrific play and a throw to second. And he was thinking about it again. He better hustle back. Mathis can throw as well.
I love that type of attitude at first base. When you see the ball in the dirt, get that momentum moving into second base. It's the ball down and away, and you can see he's taking a couple of steps towards second base. If that ball just goes 5 feet away from Mathis, he's in scoring position. You can't react. You have to anticipate.
Breaking ball for a strike, 1-1. Rajai Davis delivered a 2-out double. He scored on John McDonald's 2-out double. Inside. Blue Jays lead at 3-0. We are in the bottom of the 4th inning. Ricky Romero and Jared Weaver. Murray took a step towards second. Everything he does is quick. He had a step towards second and still shuffled back in time to beat the throw.
He was acting like he was going to go on Jared Weaver's first movement.
There he goes. Davis hits the ball toward left field. Howie Kendrick moves over, makes the catch. Davis is retired. The Blue Jays strand the base runner, but after 4 complete, they lead 3-0. Time now for a connected update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn live. The minor leagues in the Blue Jays Farm Report, and it continues. Adini Hechavarria has just been promoted to AAA Las Vegas, got off to a great start in his first game in AAA. And Nestor Molina moved up to AA, and he too enjoyed success his first time out.
Certainly did against the Akron Arrows. That's a farm club of the Cleveland Indians. Molina, 6 innings, 4 hits, an earned run, just 1 walk and 8 strikeouts for his first taste of AA baseball.
Third baseman Alberto Callaspo. It's popped out of play. I get the feeling, watching Adani Hechavarria move through the system, that he's going to play up to the talent he's facing.
Remember when he started in A-ball last year? Batting average not very good, and they moved him up to AA, and he took off.
He did. He had Luis Rivera, his manager, in AA, and really flourished under Rivera's guidance. It also helped that Rivera could speak Spanish, and Hechavarria didn't have many Spanish-speaking teammates or coaches, but Rivera was instrumental in the success for Hechavarria last year. There's a drive to left field. Thames back at the track, at the wall. This ball is gone. The first hit for the Angels is a solo home run off the bat of Alberto Callaspo, just his 5th of the season, as the Angels cut into the Blue Jays lead.
Callaspo has done that against the Blue Jays in the past. He has had good series against them. He also played for the Kansas City Royals. Gets the Angels on the board very quickly. One swing of the bat, a high drive to left field. And no chance for Thames to run that one down.
Callaspo hit his 4th home run of the season. in New York on Thursday. It had been a long drought. That was his first home run since the 25th of May. And now he's hit another here this afternoon. That's the first hit the Angels have recorded against Ricky Romero. Oh, 0-2 to Kendrick. Lowry knocks it down, can't find the handle, and that cost him. He knocked it down, had it in his glove, it squirted out of his glove, and the first time he reached for it, he missed it.
And that's all it takes when you've got a player who can run like Kendrick and doesn't take anything for granted. Busts down that line. Watch Lowry move, the athleticism to get to it, knocks it down, reaches for it right there. That first grab, he just missed it, and that's all Kendrick needed to beat it out.
It's an infield hit for Howie Kendrick. First 2 hits of the game. Jeff Mathis, he reached base on that controversial hit by pitch. At the time, it was an 0-2 count. Mathis checked his swing and got hit by a pitch. Initially, Gary Darling called it a foul ball. Then Mathis showed the hand that was hit. And then the controversy began. John Farrell came out and said, wait a minute, he swung at that pitch. But Gary Darling, the home plate umpire, asked the first base umpire if there was a swing, and he indicated no swing. Had the swing taken place, Mathis would have been out. A ball and 2 strikes to the Angel catcher. Ricky Romero working in the 5th. A leadoff home run and the infield single. Changeup gets Mathis. That's the first strikeout of the afternoon for Romero.
Gets into contact, but not this time. He needs to strike out. He goes to his bread and butter. The good changeup that goes down. Yeah, Mathis swings over the top of it.
Andrew Romine, and if that name sounds familiar to you, he is the son of former Red Sox outfielder Kevin Romine. And Andrew's brother Austin Romine is a top catching prospect with the Yankees. Andrew Romine went to Arizona State, same place his father played. And his younger brother was also headed to Arizona State, but the Yankees drafted him 2nd round and he signed.
And you're not going to turn down Yankee money in the 2nd round.
Now, that's an interesting topic, and certainly with the signing deadline coming up Monday at midnight. Nobody really knows what the rules of the free agent draft, the amateur draft, will be next June, with the collective bargaining agreement expiring in December. Little tapper. Aaron Sebia goes to 2nd and bounces it, but Escobar is there to bail him out. And Sebia had a lot of time but threw it into the dirt, and the shortstop took the short hop to force Kendrick.
That was a tougher play than it looked for Escobar. You've got to try and get that lead runner any chance you can. Aaron Sebia comes out firing, and it's a ball that hits in front of the dirt area, and you have no idea where that thing is going to bounce. It actually took a little bit of a slice to it. When it hit the turf in front of that dirt area around 2nd base, it kind of took a right-hand turn. But Escobar stayed right with it and got the out.
Unell has done a terrific job of removing all the flash from his game. And there was a time when he tried to swipe at that ball and make a dramatic catch. That time he just calmly took the short hop and knew he only had.
And didn't try and do too much with it. Just get the out. And that's what Brian Butterfield has wanted from his shortstop.
There goes the runner. The pitch is fouled off. Romine was on the move. MAICER is 0 for 2 so far. 3-1 ball game as the Angels are batting here in the 5th inning. Los Angeles won the game last night 5-1. Bounce to Romero. Angels are done in the 5th, but they get a run. A leadoff home run by Alberto CALLASPO. But the Blue Jays and Ricky Romero lead it 3-1. Across Canada all summer long, and there's a very limited number of spots I've opened up for the next Honda Super Camp right here in Toronto. Toronto, August 15th through the 17th at Rogers Centre. You can enjoy the great instruction of Homer Bush, Denny Boucher, Dwayne Ward, Rance Molnix, Juan Guzman, Alex Gonzalez, Tom Henke, Tony Fernandez, and Jesse Barfield. They'll all be on hand to help you out. For more information, log on to BlueJays.com/camp. The Blue Jays are proud supporters of amateur baseball across Canada, and those clinics have been terrific hits all across Canada.
They certainly have all summer long, and if you want to get a chance to get into it, sign up now. You got to get in there now. There's maybe 10 slots open here for this Toronto camp, and it's a good one. This might be the all-star of all the camps with those big names who are going to be here.
That all starts on Monday right here at Rogers Centre. Certainly a host of great former Blue Jay players and very anxious to get involved. We got to give Dwayne Ward an awful lot of credit because he's the one that really spearheaded the camps and got them up and running, and certainly the support of all the former players. So the Honda Super Camps and the camp will take place right here at Rogers Centre. John McDonald, a big 2-out RBI double in the 2nd inning. That pushed the Blue Jays out in front 3-0. Now it's a 3-1 ball game. Weaver's one of those guys that just never gives you a pitch to hit. Everything is on the edge, inside, outside, top of the strike zone, bottom of the zone. He's all over the strike zone.
Back and forth, up and down, everywhere. But Johnny Mack has certainly figured something out about him. Ball is low. That double that he hit in the 2nd inning, his 4th hit in his career against Weaver in just 7 at-bats.
Full count. This is popped up and playable over in front of the Angels dugout. TRUMBO is there, and Max retired. 1 down. Sports fans, remember the Canadian Little League Championship is taking place. Rogers Sportsnet is the home for this year's Canada Canadian Little League Championship. Big leaguers Jason May has participated in this event. The winner moves on to the Little League World Series. Little League Canadian Championship today at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Time on Sportsnet 1. Lots of spirit to watch those youngsters go out there and play, with a chance to go to Williamsport, Pennsylvania for the Little League World Series.
Some of those kids are pretty good too. Boy, they look like big leaguers.
Yunel Escobar singled in his first at bat, scored on the Encarnacion 2-run homer. Up and in, 78 miles an hour. Took something off that fastball. Blue Jays have done something that doesn't happen very often against Jared Weaver. They've homered and hit 3 extra base hits. Coming into this game, he'd allowed just 8 home runs all season long and only 38 extra base hits. Rajai Davis has a double, John McDonald a double, and Edwin Encarnacion the 2-run homer.
He is all over the leaderboard in all of the categories that they give us. Earned run average is way up there. Whip, he is amongst the leaders. That is walks plus hits divided by innings pitched, and that is a true, I think, gauge of how a pitcher is doing.
There's a drive down the left field line. That'll get down and bounce off the wall. Escobar is headed to second. There'll be no throw. A 1-out double for Escobar. That's the 4th extra base hit that Weaver has given up here this afternoon.
Inside, watch how quickly, Escobar gets to that inside pitch, and he's able to square it up with the big part of the bat. Comes through and he rifles the ball into left field, and once it bounces over Kendrick's head, no chance to hold him to a single. Bounces off the wall, extra bases for Escobar, his 20th double. Now to go along with 10 home runs.
Eric Thames batting with 1 out. Takes a strike. Thames with a perfect sacrifice bunt in the first inning. Weaver has won his last 5 starts against the Blue Jays. For his career, he's 7-1. He's always been a tough customer. You can see that very subtle question to the home plate umpire. He pointed his finger inside Gary Darling just to find out if that ball was off the plate inside.
They don't want to be getting shown up by the pitcher, but he did it the right way.
That's how an old pro does it. He just used his index finger up against his jersey and just pointed inside. Said, Gary, was that one inside? 2-1. 3 balls and a strike. Encarnacion on deck. He's already gone deep here this afternoon. There's the walk. Good at bat for Thames. He sets the table. 2 on, 1 out for Encarnacion.
And that will draw Mike Butcher out of the dugout for the Los Angeles Angels just to talk to his starting pitcher. Edwin Encarnacion, a dangerous bat, and has been swinging a hot bat, probably hotter than anybody on this team right now. Extra bases. This time he unloads the 2-run home run as Weaver misses his spot, the inside breaking ball, and he turned on it. The average up to 284 for Edwin.
Edwin went 38 games before he hit his first home run this year, and that really got in his head. He was swinging at everything, trying to hit that first long ball, and it created all sorts of problems for him at the plate. He's a different hitter now.
That front shoulder starts leaking out a little bit too quickly when you're trying to anticipate that home run. You don't see that now. Stays back on that back leg, keeps that front shoulder closed. Pitchers have tried to throw him away, but he's stayed right with him and hit it to right field.
Blue Jays have Weaver on the ropes. Oh, there's a good breaking ball. He slowed it down to 79 miles an hour, and that created the wide sweeping break.
And it also created the illusion that, hey, I can hit that one. I see it. Well, you can see the tempo was disturbed just a little bit on that off-speed pitch.
0-2. Lays off that pitch. Boy, when you watch the radar gun, it goes 79, 82, 79, back to 81, just all over the map, and there's no way for hitters to really gear up on a particular velocity.
And then he might slip in that 93, 94 mile an hour thing, and that's where you get all the broken bats and the jam shots. He's thrown a lot more breaking balls this afternoon than I remember in that start back in Anaheim.
Might be a product of the 8 days off. Doesn't feel confident about his ability to locate that fastball. 2-2, 1 out. Encarnacion. Early part of the season, he was wailing at that pitch.
Yeah, and that's a byproduct of a little bit too excited to trying to uncork that home run, and now he's staying on that back leg just a little bit longer.
Escobar the double. Thames took a walk. First in, second, 1 out. Full count. He walked him. The bases are loaded.
This is one of the hitters right here that has to get it going. Adam Lynn.
The bases are loaded. We're only a grand slam away from awarding a 70-inch Sharp Aquas Quattron TV. To enter, visit hitahomerunwithsharp.ca.
Receive. Lind has got to come through, and he comes through big time. This will be his second grand slam of the season, and he was waiting for this pitch. A little cutter that cuts right into the middle of the plate, and Lind was waiting for it. No doubt about it, to right field. And Weaver knew it, just as Adam Lind knew it, that ball was out of here.
He loaded the bases and then threw one down the middle, and Lynn didn't miss it. Brett Lorry had a grand slam on Wednesday. And Lynn's grand slam, a little less dramatic, but equally effective. 7-1 Blue Jays. J.P. Arencibia takes a strike. Blue Jays, 7 runs on 7 hits. You might be right on the money about Jared Weaver in the 8-day layoff.
Just doesn't look as sharp as we have seen him. Watched his last game against Seattle when he threw 8 shutout innings versus the Mariners. Cleveland, he gave up just 1 run. 7 shutout innings at Texas. Those were his last few starts. And of course, the big one back in April against the Blue Jays. He just hasn't had that pinpoint control. And when you come away from competitive pitching, maybe just a little bit off your game.
Grand slam for Lind, his 100th career home run. He did it in dramatic fashion. Reached that plateau with a grand slam. Sharp just made bigger, better for one lucky fan thanks to that grand slam. They've just won a 70-inch Quadron LCD TV from Sharp. To see if you have won, visit hitahomerunwithsharp.ca. Aaron Seabius strikes out. That's the first out of the inning. Second out of the inning, excuse me. John McDonald popped up to start the inning.
Fireworks got us all fired up here. Adam Lind, he got into the batter's box and he just sat there. It's almost like he knew what was coming. He was ready for that first pitch. He had popped up the 2 previous times to third base, and it was almost like he said, okay, I'm going to get it ready, and the first strike I see, I'm going to swing hard. And that's what he did, and that's what the Blue Jays need. They need that production from their 3-4 hitters.
Back-to-back walks and made Lynn expect the fact that he might get a good pitch. Bobby Cassavell starts to loosen up down in the Angels bullpen. There's a drive to right. Martin has just gone deep. His first home run for the Blue Jays.
Tan came into this ball game 9 hits and 21 at bats, a .429 average for his career versus Jared Weaver. John Farrell takes a look at the numbers, puts them in the ballpark, puts him in the lineup, and he's rewarded.
Home run number 4 for Martin on the season. The Blue Jays have knocked Jared Weaver out of the ball game with 2 outs here in the 5th. For the Blue Jays since the trade from Chicago, and he makes the most of it.
Yeah, it pays off for John Farrell. He puts him in the lineup, puts him in right field for his first start. And he turned on that Jared Weaver fastball for his first Blue Jay home run, knocking out Jared Weaver. Weaver gave up 3 home runs this afternoon.
And 8 earned runs, twice as many as his previous season high. The most he had allowed 4 earned runs. He did it twice in back-to-back games way back in May. The 8 days off certainly had something to do with his performance here this afternoon. Bobby Cassavell on in relief, making his 13th appearance of the season. Brett Lawrie singled his last time up. To give you an idea how good Weaver has been all year, the 8 earned runs raised his ERA a half a point. 178 to 228. As we mentioned, he had only given up 4 earned runs in a game. He did it twice, and that came in back-to-back starts on the 7th and 13th of May. He has had a terrific season, but today you could see the impact of that 8-day layoff.
He just wasn't as sharp. He wasn't as crisp as the ball came out of his hand. And his fastball, he just didn't use his fastball as much as we saw him earlier. There is the line for Jared Weaver. 94 pitches through 4 2/3 innings in 8 earnings.
That ties his career high in earned runs allowed. There's a drive to center field. Peter Borges back at the wall. He can't make the catch. Laurie is headed for third. Here's the throw from Borges. It is cut off. Brett Laurie has gotten all of the first out of the way in a hurry. That's his first big league triple.
He is electric when he stands in that batter's box. The ball just comes off of his bat with authority. No chance for Borges to run it down, but Laurie thinking extra bases all the way. He turned it on when he came around first base and had 3 on his mind. Right here. Look at the strides as he picks him up, puts him down, and aggressively slides into third base for his first triple.
If you don't like Brett Laurie playing baseball, you're not watching. 2 outs. Rajai Davis inside. Blue Jays have scored 8 runs on 9 hits. Davis has a double. Bouncing ball. CALLASPO on the short hop. Throws Davis out. But the Blue Jays put up a 5 spot. Anchored by that man, Adam Lind, his second grand slam of the season. Blue Jays lead it 8-1. Championships, and the Toronto Blue Jays want to congratulate Langley, BC and Valleyfield Cadet for making it to the Canadian Little League Final today in Vancouver. The winner of this game today will represent Canada in the Little League World Series in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Good luck and congratulations to all participants. The Toronto Blue Jays are proud supporters of amateur baseball across Canada. Whale of a ball game today. Looks to be a great pitcher's duel, but Jared Weaver wasn't on his regular game, and the Blue Jays have scored 8 runs. Ricky Romero is on his game. 1 run on 2 hits through 5 innings. Romero gave up a leadoff home run to Alberto CALLASPO to start the 5th. And that was followed with an infield hit by Howie Kendrick, but he stranded Kendrick. And now works in the 6th with a comfortable lead. Jam shot. Here comes Laurie on the move. What a play.
And with that 7-run lead, Ricky Romero can be a little bit more aggressive. You see Edwin Encarnacion laughing. I think it has to do with what Ricky Romero did after he tried to catch that ball. Watch this play. After he goes to gets it, he goes down. Laurie makes the play, but Ricky Romero falls down. The turf monster got him.
What a play by Laurie. Throws up Peter Borges at first. 1 out. Torrey Hunter, the DH this afternoon, has walked and flied out. Takes the strike. Way outside, ball and strike. Ricky Romero has been on some roll. He has done a great job of pitching deep into the games. And then he throws that good changeup that Hunter swings over the top of. Romero's gone at least 7 1/3 in each of his last 4 starts. And he's been economical. He hasn't utilized an awful lot of pitches. Strikes out Torrey Hunter. He went after that pitch up and away.
And baseball is starting to recognize how good Ricky Romero is. He's got multiple weapons to try and get you out. This is that good changeup. Really messes up Torrey Hunter. He was named the AL Player of the Week ending August the 7th for his work he did against Tampa Bay and Baltimore. So baseball's starting to recognize how good Romero is.
It's hard to ignore him. He's in the top 10 in opponents' batting average coming into this game. The league hitting just .218 against Ricky Romero. He's in the top 10 in ERA. Mark Trumbo 0 for 2.
And the record that Romero has, you have to have been able to watch him all season long. He has pitched where he could win 13, 14, maybe 15 games.
Deep at third. Laurie skips it across in time. He made a good play on the broken bat chopper. Goes deep at third, rights himself, and uses his strong arm all the way across the diamond. Gets enough on the throw to throw out Trumbo. Our game, it'll be Tampa and New York hooking up in the Bronx on Sportsnet East, Ontario, West Pacific. Coming right up. Last night, David Price, CC Sabathia, and CC Sabathia was touched up for 5 solo home runs. Today it'll be Jeremy Hellickson against Phil Hughes in the Bronx. Joe Pinheiro, who started out in the rotation, has been moved to the bullpen as he has been struggling of late.
He made 18 starts this year. He made his first relief appearance the other day, the first one since 2008. Pinheiro's ERA of 5.42. He's given up a lot of base hits this year, a lot of base runners. They are his numbers, 138 hits for Pinheiro. So he has moved into the bullpen. They brought some of the young kids in.
John McDonald having a good day. His second hit of the afternoon on the first pitch from Pinheiro.
That's what he will do. He will look for that first pitch, and he's been aggressive. Trying to pull the ball now later in his career instead of trying to service that ball the other way. Pounds it into left field for his second hit.
Pinheiro is now 32 years old. Started out in the Seattle Mariner organization. Yunel Escobar, a couple more hits this afternoon, average up to 303. Bouncing ball this short. Romine gets no. He went to second and threw wide of second. McDonald is headed to third. Romine tried to throw back across his body and missed the mark. Threw it wide of IZTURIS, covering the bag.
His first start at shortstop this afternoon. He'll also be charged with his first error. Really not a play that you can turn to if ball just wasn't hit hard enough by Escobar. He catches it, tries to throw it on the run, and this is a tough play to throw back across your left shoulder, and you miss your mark with your second baseman coming across the bag. The ball's going to end up in right field. That'll allow McDonald to move over to third base. Romine with his first error.
McDonald at third, Escobar at first for Eric Thames. Thames had his 6th home run in last night's game, part of a 2-for-4 night. Officially this afternoon, just 0 for 1. He had a sac bunt and a walk. Pinheiro first came to the big leagues with Seattle in 2000. Appeared in 8 games with the Mariners. 2001, he started 11 games. Pitched very well. Eric Thames, his second stint with the Blue Jays, came up and then went sent back, and you can see since his recall, 38 games, first 17 he was pretty good, but then the league adjusted to him a bit. Now he's playing catch up.
And now I think he's understanding what pitchers are trying to do to him. They're trying to elevate the fastball. They're trying to get him to swing at off-speed pitches out of the strike zone. John Farrell has talked to him and said, you know, listen, you can't go up there and you can't hit every single pitch that they throw.
That's quite an interesting contrast when you look into the Angels dugout. All those veteran hitters, they know that you only need one to hit. Thames is trying to hit them all. And that's natural for young hitters. They come up here and want to make an impression. And then there was the anticipation and anxiety of who's going to go back to the minor leagues when Brett Lawrie gets called up from AAA. And Thames, in his mind, felt like he was a candidate.
All of the young players would probably think the same way, so they start pressing a little bit and trying to swing a little bit harder. And you try to do things that you're not used to, and it only takes a little bit.
You don't have to be off by much.
Nope.
John McDonald's been on, as has Yunel Escobar. They both have a pair of hits here this afternoon. Fouled off Thames' foot.
There was a good sign in last night's ball game where Thames went deep for his 6th home run, stayed back on the breaking ball, got a good pitch to hit, and took a good swing at it.
That line drive base hit to left field in his first at bat against Irvin Santana. Full count, nobody out. Runners at the corners. Blue Jays lead it 8-1. Good rip at that outside fastball. The veteran Pinheiro facing the rookie Thames. Pinheiro in his 11th big league season. Thames in his first. The bases are loaded again. Once again, fans, the bases are loaded. We're only a grand slam away from awarding a 70-inch Sharp Aquos Quattron TV. To enter, visit hitahomerunwithsharp.ca. Blue Jays have already hit one grand slam here this afternoon. That was back in the 5th inning. Adam Lynn with his second grand slam of the season. He's a batter away. Nobody out. Edwin Encarnacion certainly capable. Encarnacion has already extended his hit streak here this afternoon. Encarnacion is now hit in 12 straight games. There's that comeback two-seam fastball that caught the outside corner. Ball and strike. Blue Jays got up 3-0 after 2, and then really broke it open with a 5-run 5th inning. John McDonald singled to start the inning. Escobar reached on the air, and then Thames took the walk. Bases are loaded. Lind on deck, has already hit a slam today. Pinheiro has pitched for the Mariners, the Red Sox, the Cardinals, and this is his second season with the Angels.
Won 10 games for him last year and 23 starts. Like you said, he started the year in the rotation, but they're going with the young kids now.
Pretty good sink on that fastball. All Encarnacion can do is get the top half of it.
That's been his big pitch for his career now in his 11th season in the big leagues. Get the ground ball out with that sinking fastball. Needs to stay down.
2-2. Upstairs, and Mathis wants to go have a chat with Pinheiro. He left one right up there in the happy zone for Encarnacion.
He got away with one against a hot hitter of the month of August. Edwin Encarnacion over 400. He now has a couple of home runs this month.
Another 2-2 pitch. Off the glove of CALLASPO. McDonald is in, and Escobar will stop at third. Encarnacion picks up another RBI. Hit a shot off the third baseman's glove. And Lynn will get a chance to bat with the bases loaded again.
Blistered down to the third baseman in one of those grooves again. Encarnacion all over this pitch. Hits it hard. CALLASPO can just get a piece of it, or this is a double and possibly 3 runs for the Blue Jays. Gets a piece of it, backed up nicely by ROMINE to keep the bases loaded.
Curveball missed the outside corner. Lynn hit the first pitch last time up against Jared Weaver. His 20th home run, his 100th career home run, was a grand slam.
He was waiting for this one. He had popped up his 2 previous times against Jared Weaver. This time he was waiting for that little, looked like a cut fastball over the middle of the plate, and he didn't miss it. drives in 4 quick runs for the Blue Jays.
Off the end of the bat. Borges camps under it. Escobar tagging. Here's the throw to the plate. It'll be offline. Escobar scores. So Lynn picks up another RBI with the sacrifice fly to center.
Got just enough of it, and he gets a handshake from Lynn, who will be credited with his 66th RBI. You see Brian Butterfield egging on Escobar to get into the home plate area. He does. It's now 10-1.
First and second, 1 out. JP Arencibia. Outside. Arencibia looking to join the party here this afternoon. He is 0 for 3. There's a base hit. Thames gets a good break. He'll come around third. Here's the throw from Borges. It is cut off. Arencibia does join the party. An RBI single to center. 11-1 Blue Jays.
JP will pick up his 54th RBI of the season. Stays right on that pitch from Pinheiro. Goes down and away. Stays on it right off the end of the bat. Hit softly. Thames has got to make sure that it's down, but he reads it very quickly, and he'll score easily from second base. 3 more runs here in the 6th. It's now 11-1 on 12 hits.
Mark Teahen hit his first Blue Jays home run his last at bat. Teahen has faced Pinheiro a lot. He's 4 for 19 against the Angels reliever. Got to be a great feeling for Teahen, who hadn't had much of an opportunity to contribute since the trade.
Boy, anytime you come to a new organization, you want to get a chance, not just as a defensive replacement or as a pinch runner. Get up there with the bat and help your teammates with a hit, home run where you can high-five them. And that's what he did his last time up, hitting his first home run. It comes off of Jared Weaver and actually knocks Weaver out of this ball game. He's a good low ball hitter, and that looked like a pitch that was down.
Two and 1, still just 1 out. And fastball runs back over the strike zone. Long inning for Ricky Romero, but he will take the runs for sure. 5-run 5th inning, 3 more runs here in the 6th. Trumbo knocks it down, and he'll go to the bag and beat Teahen there. All they can get is the 1 out at first. Runners move up. And Brett Lawrie will bat with 2 outs. Lawrie 2 for 3 this afternoon. Single and triple. Batting in the 7th spot for the first time in his career. Lowry's shown a knack for hitting strikes. He's got a pretty good eye at the plate. Lays off that breaking pitch. Pinheiro in his first inning of relief here this afternoon. Bobby Cassava went 1/3 of an inning, gave up the triple to Lawrie, but then got Davis to ground out. shot the third. CALLASPO just in time to get Laurie. Bang, bang at first. Blue Jays score 3 more and taking a 10-run lead. The Yankees are atop the leaderboard, 2,201 million. Phillies, Red Sox, then the Angels are right there in 4th place. Alex Anthopoulos and the Blue Jays, their team payroll at 62.5, certainly very manageable and lots of room to grow.
Yeah, he's got the payroll under control. He controls some of his costs over the next few years, so he's got an idea. The encouraging thing about that is Blue Jays can move up, I think, very easily up that ladder. They can support a higher payroll once the foundation is laid here in Toronto.
Vernon Wells' contract was moved, and that freed up some of the resources, allowed Blue Jays to sign Jose Bautista for the long term. Ricky Romero is under control, as is Adam Lynn. And you're right, the team has to build a foundation before the impact of free agents really can be felt. Lynn's security is known. He's going to be here for a while as part of the future of this team.
Cost certainty. You know, as a general manager, you want to know what these guys are going to cost you as you go into the offseason.
Wells strikes out, the throw to first, and he's retired to start the 7th.
Arbitration is the big unknown for general managers, what their arbitration is going to cost players. You just don't know. You exchange figures and you don't know what the arbitrator is going to pick, this guy or that guy. You see the greatest increase in salary in arbitration, where some of these players are starting to become arbitration eligible. But the Blue Jays have done a smart thing. They've locked up those players so they know what their costs are going to be over the next few years.
Well, and now you have to continue to grow the talent in the minor leagues and bring more Lauries to the big leagues and bring up more Henderson Alvarez's to the big league. Homegrown talent that's going to allow you to build your own foundation. Then the impact of 1 or 2 key free agents can have a difference. That can take you to the postseason. But you've got to have a core of young players like Laurie and Alvarez.
Yeah, and they need more. They need more of those that you can control them for the first 6 years of their big league career. And if you need to go out, and that's what I mean, the Blue Jays have the ability to jump up the ladder there in the salary structure in baseball. They've got plenty of money. They just have to spend it wisely. That 1 or 2 guy to get you over the hump.
Well, the previous big free agent contracts were spent at a time when they didn't have an impact. A.J. Burnett, B.J. Ryan just really couldn't impact the team that didn't have enough good players around it. So it was ill-advised to sign free agents at that point. There just weren't enough good parts in place. Free agency has to be the last piece to the puzzle. When you have enough core players that you have built in your own system, when then you can go out on the market and throw some big dollars around.
Well, look at the Yankees. They didn't become the dynasty starting in the late 90s until they went back to the old tried and true homegrown talent, and then add the free agents. It was the Posadas and the Rivera, Bernie Williams, Derek Jeter. Those players came up through their farm system, and then they made some wise trades, and then they signed some big free agents.
Andy Pettitte was part of that core that was promoted in the mid-90s. 3-2, 1 out. CALLASPO has provided the only run of this game for the Angels. He had a leadoff home run in the 5th inning. Ricky Romero has gotten right back in that groove we have seen recently. He has held the Angels to just 2 hits. Popped up. John McDonald backing up into the outfield. 2 down. The most hits Romero has allowed in any of his 4 previous starts was 5 hits against Seattle back on the 21st of July. Then he held Baltimore to 4, Tampa Bay to 1, and second time through Baltimore, 4 hits again.
A little bit different attack, I think, this afternoon by Romero. His last 4, he's had a ton of strikeouts. This afternoon, pitching to contact just a little bit more, using the defense. Just 3 strikeouts.
In his last 4 starts, 9, 9, 7, and 5 for strikeouts for Romero. So he too is getting to the point where I understand it's not all about strikeouts, it's about outs, however you can get them. Hendricks retired, a quick 7th inning. Ricky Romero in charge. Tonight's game, he comes on defensively here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And with that move, TRUMBO, who started at first, moves to right field. So Vernon Wells will be given the rest of the afternoon off. Blue Jays are up 11-1. Rajai Davis had a good day at the plate, 1 for 3. He doubled and scored. Davis making his first start in center field since July 27th. That was the day the Blue Jays made the trade and picked up Colby Rasmus. Vernon Wells will sit the rest of this one out.
He'll have to hustle into that office tomorrow and be the first one in there.
Got to beat Torrey Hunter in there. Well, it would just as soon be out in left field, I'm sure.
Certainly.
David Rackley at first said Davis went too far. It's an 0-2 count. The Angels are trying to keep pace with the Texas Rangers. LA is 2 games behind Texas in the standings in the American League West. Those 2 teams will face each other 9 more times. Big bouncing ball to short. Davis is up.
It's Canada's best-selling car 13 years in a row. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
1 down. John McDonald. They got the start at second base today. He's responded very well. A couple of hits. He scored a run and driven 1 in. Joel Pinheiro in his second inning of relief. Jared Weaver got the start, coming off his 6-game suspension, 8 days since his last start. And it didn't go well for Weaver, and he has been as tough as any pitcher in baseball. But today, possibly the impact of those 8 days off.
Yeah, it wasn't as sharp. Gave up the 3 home runs to the Jays.
He'd only allowed 8 home runs all season long coming into this game, and the Blue Jays connected 3 times against him. And they've not hit well against him in the past. It was an exceptional day for the Blue Jays. Jared Weaver had won his previous 5 starts against the Blue Jays. One and two, 1 out. Texas will take on the Oakland Athletics in Oakland later on this afternoon. Right-hander Colby Lewis will go up against Trevor Cahill as Texas tries to keep their lead in the West. CALLASPO, the third baseman, slides underneath it and makes the catch. 2 down.
And after this series, the Angels go home and they face Texas in a 4-game series in Anaheim, which should be a lot of fun. They also then go to Texas for 3 and then finish the season with 3 games against the Rangers. So this American League West is going to be fun all the way down to the last 3 days of the season.
Now, Mike Scioscia was asked about that upcoming game on Monday, and it was suggested maybe you should keep Herron back to open up the Rangers series. He said, hey, every game's the same. They all count the same. You got to win them no matter who you play. So he's not at that point of the season yet where he wants to juggle his rotation. Escobar, slow bouncer to short. Quick inning for Pinheiro. Blue Jays go quietly in the 7th, but after 7 complete here at Rogers Center, it's all Blue Jays. He's debriefing with the pitching coach, Bruce Walton. Romero goes 7 strong innings, allows just 2 hits, and drops his ERA to 2.87.
And with that 10-run lead, no sense running him out there to get him over 100 pitches. John Farrell's done a good job like that with his young pitchers, saving them an inning here, an inning there. They're going to get, as we get close to the end of the season, be on innings count. So you save one here in this game. 2 hits, an earned run, a couple of walks, and he will give way now to Trevor Miller. Miller came over from the Cardinals in the trade that brought Colby Rasmus to the Blue Jays. The veteran Miller has been around a long time, 584 appearances now since 2003, which leads all left-handers in the major leagues.
Jeff Mathis, the catcher, cues it off the end of the bat. We mentioned Ricky Romero dropping his ERA to 2.87. That moves him ahead of Dan Herron of the Angels into 6th position in the American League.
It's just been an impressive season for Ricky Romero. Again, he could have 3, 4, maybe even 5 more wins if the Blue Jays had been able to score some runs for him, or he left with leads and they haven't been able to hold him. But everything you want for a starter, and we talked about it in the scouting report about a streak stopper. He has been able to do that for the Blue Jays this season.
He has improved in every important category for a pitcher in each of his 3 seasons. Mathis takes the walk. That starts the 8th inning. Ricky Romero has improved on the opponent's batting average, on walks per 9 innings, strikeouts per 9 innings, hits per 9 innings. Every aspect of pitching he's improved upon.
Yep. And the wins will be there. You keep doing that, you keep pitching competitively like that, and the wins will come through.
And the one thing he does that guarantees that's going to happen, he pitches late into the game. You stay in the game until the 7th, 8th inning every time out there. You're going to win a lot of games. That ball is behind Romine all the way back to the backstop.
You know, taking care of the things that you can control. You can't control your team if you're the pitcher scoring runs. So he's done a good job of that. This afternoon he should have enough runs to pick up the W.
Mathis moves up on the wild pitch. Andrew Romine, that pitch went all the way behind him. There's a strike. Popped up into center. Rajai Davis. Easy play. 1 out. Miller's making his 5th appearance for the Blue Jays. He has worked a total of 2 1/3 before coming into this game. Trevor Miller pitched for the Blue Jays in 2003, appeared in 79 games for Toronto. Ball in the strike. MAICER IZTURIS 0 for 3 this afternoon. IZTURIS did not start in last night's game. Howie Kendrick was at second last night. IZTURIS did not get into the ball game. 2-1. Top of the 8th inning, and it's been Blue Jays all afternoon. Ricky Romero was staked to an early lead, and that lead was expanded with a 5-run 5th inning, keyed by the grand slam home run by Adam Lynn.
That certainly was the big blow, but really this is about what Ricky Romero has been able to do against the Angels. The Angels on the road, a much better offensive team this year, and then to see what Ricky has been able to do really hammered home that. Look at the difference of the Angels on the road as opposed to home. 62 home runs as opposed to 36, the largest differential in Major League Baseball. And the only mistake Ricky made this afternoon was the home run to CALLASPO. That's it. Just 2 hits.
Popped up over near the wall. Encarnacion can't get there. J.P. Arencibia slid to break his momentum, and the ball hit right off the top of the fence.
Ball just wasn't hit high enough for either Arencibia or Encarnacion to make the play, as it hits right off the top of the wall in front of that camera well.
So another full count pitch to MAICER IZTURIS. 1 out here in the 8th inning. Trevor Miller in his first inning of relief. Popped up right behind home plate. Arencibia. IZTURIS is retired. Fans, you can test your knowledge and win additional Sharp prizes by visiting the new Hit a Home Run with Sharp Facebook page. Great opportunities to answer some baseball questions and win beautiful prizes from Sharp. It is a perfect afternoon for baseball here in Toronto. Rogers Center packed with 27,000 fans. Game 2 of a 3-game series against the Angels. Center fielder Peter Borges takes a first pitch strike. Trevor Miller, now 38 years old. We mentioned he pitched with the Blue Jays in 2003. Came to the big leagues initially with the Tigers back in '96. Got into 5 games, made 4 starts for the Tigers in '96.
He was selected by the Tigers as a supplemental pick, 41st overall in 1991. He has spent some time with the Astros, the Phillies, the Red Sox. He's been all over baseball.
He strikes out Peter Borges. That ends the inning. Leadoff walk and nothing more. Trevor Miller strikes out Peter Borges to end the 8th. 11-1 Blue Jays after 7.5. Now it's time for a connected update. Here's Jamie and Greg live from the Black Brave broadcast studio here at Rogers Center. On your Rogers smartphone, now available for all Rogers customers. Sign up today at RogersOnDemand.com and take the Blue Jays with you. Right there on Rogers On Demand, you can follow everything, including an Adam Glynn Grand Slam home run here this afternoon. Blue Jays have scored 11 runs on 12 hits. They've pounded out 3 home runs. All those home runs coming against Jared Weaver. Pitch Thompson comes out of the bullpen. He'll be the 4th Angel pitcher to work here this afternoon.
Now in his 2nd big league season from Australia. He was signed as a free agent in 2002, made his way up through the farm system, and now pitches out of Mike Scioscia's bullpen.
Driven past Art Trumbo all the way to the wall. Eric Thames is headed for second. He takes a look over his shoulder, and he'll stop right there. Thames has been aboard 3 times this afternoon. He's officially 1 for 2 now. Sacrifice bunt, couple of walks, and a double.
And he joins the hit parade. The last everyday player looking for his first hit this afternoon, and it's a good one. Laces this ball to right field. Stays back on that one nicely.
Edwin Encarnacion's had another good day at the plate. He's driven in 3. Encarnacion has stretched his hit streak to 12 games. 2-run homer came in the 1st. He walked and singled. Another good pitching matchup tomorrow in the series finale. Right-hander Dan Herron will go up against Brett Cecil. Cecil, like Romero, has been throwing the ball very well of late. Dan Herron's been throwing it well all year long.
And he flies under the radar. We were talking about him the other day about the numbers that he has put up year after year after year, but he doesn't get the recognition at times that some of the other pitchers in the American League get.
Blue Jays this afternoon delivering in the clutch. They're 5 for 9 with runners in scoring position. With 13 hits, they've only stranded 5 base runners. They've done a pretty good job of cashing in their opportunities. Dan Herron's had an interesting career. Originally drafted by the Cardinals. Strike 3 call. Thompson catches the outside corner with that breaking ball.
Thompson looking for a strikeout. It's an overhand curveball. It just floats on the outside part of the plate. Just flips the corner, as you can see the replay. He has logged 14 multi-strikeout outings in his 31 appearances. So he'll use that big overhand curveball for strikeouts.
Adam Lynn, big cut on that high fastball. And with 5 RBIs today, including his 2nd grand slam of the season. Luis Perez warming up down in the Blue Jays bullpen. Trevor Miller had a good inning of work, walked the leadoff batter and then stranded him. Another good cut. Carlin's starting to get close again.
Yes.
He's starting to really show signs that he's going to put together a hot streak. That was a good cut, that high fastball. Lind has driven in 5 this afternoon. 2nd time he has had a 5 RBI day this season. He also drove in 5 down at Texas against the Rangers back in April. Part of a 2 home run afternoon. cued off the end of the bat. Thompson will come over and put the tag on Lynn. That's the second out of the inning. Thames moves over to third on the putout. J.P. Arencibia picked up an RBI in his last at bat. He's up to 54 ribbies now. Closing ground on Mark Trumbo. Trumbo leads the American League rookies with 63. The ball is hit into left field. Howie Kendrick is there. Arencibia is retired to end the 8th. We will go to the 9th inning. Luis Perez looks like he's going to come into the ball game and try to finish this up. Live from anywhere, online or on the go at RogersOnDemand.com.
Blue Jays scored 5 runs in the 5th inning, 4 of them on one swing of the bat by Adam Lind. His second grand slam of the season, his 20th home run of the year. Mark Teahen would also homer, but the big blow in that inning and really blew open this game, that grand slam by Adam Lind.
After 2 walks, it loaded the bases, and then Len was geared up for the first pitch and got that first pitch from Jared Weaver, and knocked it out of the ballpark. Blue Jays look like they're going to even this series at a game apiece. Luis Perez out of the bullpen to work the ninth.
Young left-hander Perez pitched a couple of days ago against Oakland. Wasn't particularly sharp. An inning, a hit, 2 hits, an earned run, 3 base on balls in that inning was the undoing. So John Farrell, after a day off, gets him back out there to get some work. He's normally been very good, throwing a lot of strikes, very good strikeout to walk ratio. His ball got a lot of movement on it. In that game against Oakland, he just couldn't find the strike zone.
He committed an error on a swinging bunt up the first baseline. He threw the ball down the right field line. That contributed to that 4-run inning. Blue Jays booted it around, a couple of errors in that inning. So he's trying to erase the memory of that outing here with Torrey Hunter. Hunter's been the DH this afternoon. He has gone 0 for 2 with a walk. Luis Perez has certainly opened up some eyes on this coaching staff as we have gotten to look at him for the first time in the big leagues this season, and he certainly has the pitches and the makeup. There's a line drive into right center. Torrey Hunter around first, and he's headed for second. The ball goes all the way to the wall. He's going to go to third base as that ball stayed out in the outfield a long time, and Hunter has his second triple of the season.
That'll keep that hitting streak alive for Torrey Hunter. Goes all the way down to the 9th inning before he could keep it going. Pitch down and away, stay right on top of that ball, and drove it to right field. And when Rajai Davis gets over and misses it initially right there, that'll allow Hunter to circle the bases and get all the way to third.
That stretches his hit streak to 11 games. Trumbo goes after the first pitch and lines it to center field. Corey Hunter tags. Here's the throw to the plate. Nowhere nearly in time as Hunter slides across. That picks up an RBI for Mark Trumbo, his 64th of the season. Russell Brandon will bat for the first time. He came on defensively in the bottom of the 7th inning, taking over for Vernon Wells. Brandon moved to first and pushed Mark Trumbo out to right field. Brandon started at first base in last night's game, went 1 for 3 with a double. He also walked in that game. Brandon has only had 4 at-bats against left-handed pitching since coming to the Angels.
And it shows. Will swing at that ball down and away. Luis Perez has been a starter in the minor leagues since he signed in 2005. That has been what he has. And maybe eventually he goes back there, but he's so good coming out of the pen, throwing strikes. And that's something you couldn't say about him when he was a younger player in the farm system. Pat Hankin got a chance to work with him when he was in the minor leagues and said he's so proud of him the way he has really commanded his pitches now. When he first started, they weren't sure if he was going to be able to throw many strikes to get to the big leagues.
It's all about building a mechanical foundation that will allow you to repeat that delivery. And he has thrown good. He's got good action on his fastball. Full count to Russell Brandon. 1 out. We are in the 9th inning. Strike recall. Brandon caught looking at a fastball. Fans, a reminder, Sportsnet is home to this year's Canadian Little League Championship. Big leaguer Jason Bay has participated in the Canadian Little League Championship. Playing for Trail, BC. The winner moves on to Little League World Series. Little League Canadian Championship today at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific on Sportsnet 1. Two down, Alberto CALLASPO. First pitch strike. It's the only game going on in Major League Baseball as we speak. Tampa Bay and New York will pick things up starting at 4:10. Sportsnet will have all that action. You can see the Rays taking on the Yankees in the Bronx. Texas and Oakland, they too will start at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. The only National League game in the afternoon, Pittsburgh at Milwaukee. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Luis Perez trying to put a cap on this great afternoon. Fly ball poked into right. Tien will watch it bounce into the seats. Ground rule double for CALLASPO. He's had 2 hits, both extra base hits here this afternoon.
He is a career 300 hitter against the Blue Jays. He has homered against Romero in the 5th inning. And then the good tailing action on the fastball from Perez doesn't fool him. Watch him stay over the ball, get enough of it, a half swing down the right field line, and lands foul. Another extra base hit.
Howie Kendrick goes after the first pitch. Kendrick had an infield hit off the glove of Brett Lowry at third base. Kendrick now 1 for 7 in the series. 1-2. Outside. We'll be right back here tomorrow afternoon for the series finale. Dan Heron, the right-hander, will go up against Brett Cecil, the left-hander. 1:07 p.m. start. Pre-game show begins at 12:30 with Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn. 1-2. Fouled out of play. That's a big bounce-back game for the Blue Jays to win this one after a discouraging loss last night at the hands of Irvin Santana. Santana with a complete game, 5-1 win.
And was in total command. And then the prospects of facing a Cy Young candidate didn't look too good for the Blue Jays this morning, but they came out and had some good at-bats against Weaver.
Strike three call, and that'll do it. Luis Perez strikes out a pair in the ninth inning. And Ricky Romero wins for the fourth time in his last 5 starts. He's 4-0. Big grand slam by Adam Lynn. Escobar with a couple more hits this afternoon. The Blue Jays score 11 runs on 13 hits.
But this was about Ricky Romero. A couple of walks in the first inning, but that was it. He shut it down the rest of the way. Gave up the home run, gave up 2 hits in 7 innings. The home run to CALLASPO, the only damage against Romero. He lowers his earned run average. You get the good pitching deep into the ball game, and with that timely hitting, you're going to win a lot of games.
John Farrell's Blue Jays bounce back with an impressive win in the middle game. It'll be the rubber match tomorrow afternoon. We'll be here. Stay tuned now for Jays Connected. Jamie Campbell, Greg Zahn from the Blackberry Broadcast Studio.